Hey y'all, Chuck here. Hey, it's time for another Q&A. Been really busy here lately, so I haven't had a chance to do the Q&A video, but you guys have asked a lot of questions. We tried to get them answered as much as possible over the internet, along with the help of other people's comments as well. Well, we've got a lot of questions, so let's get started. First one is by Desmosista. Sorry. I plan on retiring in Thailand in 3 months. I am type 2 diabetic and was wondering if you could ask your pharmacist the cost of Lantus and Nova Rapid insulin. It's difficult for him to give me exact prices because they vary in different locations depending on where you're going to be. If you're going to be in the Jomtien area, then chances are it's going to be a little bit more money than what you could get it out here for. But I wouldn't worry too much about the cost of medical stuff in Thailand. It's not like the West where it's 400 times more expensive because of a corrupt system, I'll say. The system here is like it used to be in the US probably 40 years ago. Everything is very reasonably priced. Anything for diabetes is here in Thailand. Thailand has a pretty bad epidemic with diabetes right now, but the country has recognized this and has tried to educate their people with information to try to help them. The big problem I see is the kids love to drink these little sweet, milky, just full of sugar, sweet drinks. It's like a popular, I've seen a lot of that in Korea too, but those things are horrible. And you see a lot of little fat kids running around eating KFC and drinking those sweet sugar drinks. But Thailand has implemented a lot of things in their community as far as exercising. They have these programs set up that the country does pay people to host, like aerobics or exercise. They've created bike paths and created opportunity for people to exercise. And I wouldn't worry too much about diabetes stuff in Thailand. They have just about everything here at a very low cost. Next question is by David Cookie. I don't know. It's not really a question. And it's not really addressing this person. I don't know who he is. He probably doesn't live in Thailand or just only reads stuff on the internet, or maybe he's just not a smart person. But I want to talk to you about a comment that he made, and I have quite a few comments similar to this. I don't know if English is his first language or not, or he's not a smart person, but let me try to read what he says. 11 us of your money, again and again. See how lovely and friendly they all when you're broke. You're being ripped off. I've seen this 1,000 times. I know an American that started off wealthy, now he's broke. It's everyone. Thai rules are all one-way traffic. They extract everything they can extract from you and move on. It's a culture thing, and this happens every time for sure. I tell the truth. Sorry if the truth hurts. Oh well, thank you for your empathy on that, but I think you're an idiot. That's just my personal opinion, probably because you've never really been to Thailand and you're only watching videos from people sitting on their porch talking about stories that they heard from somebody else. People love drama for sure.
Tigers and bears, oh my! Lions and tigers and bears, oh my! Lions and tigers.
I get it, I understand that. I'm only showing, I hear a lot of stories. Probably, this isn't an exaggeration, maybe 200 or 300 a day between comments on Facebook, comments on email, comments on Messenger, and comments on YouTube. So I hear quite a bit. I don't share everybody's story. I could sit around and do storytelling vlogs till the cows come home, but I'd rather just show real life. I'd rather just show real life through what's happening in my part of the world page.
Hello.
So anyway, you know, anybody can get ripped off. Thai women are one thing annoying. Anyway, what was I talking about? Being ripped off. If you're a gullible person, you can be ripped off anywhere, any part of the world by anybody. A wife, your kids, family members, your friends, your boyfriends, your girlfriends. Hang on, cut. Okay, bye-bye. Choke me, choke me. You can be ripped off by anybody, so, you know, it could happen, but the whole world's not out to get you. But you say you know an American that started off wealthy, now he's broke. What about what about a few extra examples? I know a lot of people here that have married bar girls and have been married for 40 years now. You know, so anything could happen. I think a lot of it, I really honestly, in my mind, in my opinion, from my experience, believe that a lot of times, and you know, there's always another side to a story. A lot of times you find out that the person who says was taken wasn't a very good person at all to begin with. You know, so sometimes you get back what you give. But hey, you know what? I've been taken before. I've made a lot of stupid choices. I've been broke many times. I'm on my third marriage now. My first two marriages obviously didn't work out. Anytime you go through a divorce, there's going to be money issues. We can always blame everything. It's easy to blame everything on everybody else and not accept responsibility for some of what happens in your life. I don't want to drag this on, but I hear it so many times, and it's pathetic to believe that life only happens the way that it's happened to you. Yeah. And we got to learn from our mistakes. We've got to be smart. You know, we just got to keep moving forward. We can't always think negative. But I get it. A lot of times people only are negative because they're just not good people. They're negative people themselves. So if you say everything around you is below you, it makes you feel better about yourself. And if you had a bad relationship and you got taken advantage of, you know, you can't just say everybody's going to have it, period. The truth, you know. If you don't believe what I say, you're stupid, you know. I do know quite a few people that have been taken, but it's not just from Thai women or Thai families. It's most of it is from the United States. But hey, you know, whatever. We got to learn, be smart, move forward. Don't become a weak person that's easily taken from an opportunist, you know. Be smart. A lot of people say that I'm in the situation that I'm in because I'm lucky. Well, you know, sometimes luck has a lot to do with it. I just didn't fall in a hole and land here and all of a sudden I'm like, wow, I just won the lottery, you know. You know, I chose the path that I chose. You know, I made some really good career choices, saved a lot of money, lived way below my means, stayed out of the American dream. And, you know, I met Paige as a wonderful person. I never met anybody like that. So I chose her as my partner, and I treat her good and she treats me. And we came here, I visited her family, and it was just one of those things where, okay, I want to move to Thailand. If her family wasn't good, we'd be living in Koh Chang by the ocean where I'd really like to be. But I love it here. I love her family. They're my family, my Thai family. And we just have to make better choices in life sometimes. And a lot of times we follow our heart, and sometimes our heart will let us down. You know, we got to be sensible about things. But nobody says you have to come here and get married anyway. Most Thai women don't want to get married. Just ask them. I think that's more of a Western thing. We find a woman, we want to marry her, we want to, you know, but you don't have to get married. You don't have to stay with a person. You don't have to, if you're with a woman that's just an opportunist, then don't be gullible. Don't be taken advantage of. Get what makes you happy and move on, okay? Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Next question. Ray, thanks for the video. You're welcome. There is something bothering me. Okay. You seem like family the way you do your videos. Thank you. A few days ago on your question and answer, you mentioned Paige uses baby powder. Baby powder has been linked to ovarian cancer. Please Google it and find out more. Take care of each other. Cheers from Canada. Thank you very much. I know that's coming from the heart. I know you're very concerned about the health of your friends and family, and thank you for considering us as that too. But Paige is not just Paige, but if you come to my house, come over here, I'll take you down the street. We'll go meet a couple of women that are over the age of 90 and they look like Casper the Friendly Ghost. Paige has been checked out every year. She's in good health. Her mom doesn't have ovarian cancer. You know, there's a lot of things that can cause cancer in our life. If we try to always be cautious about those, we'll find ourselves in a bad situation, I think. So, yeah, there's been some cases of that. I have read up on that, but what are you going to do? Are you going to stay out of the sun in case you get melanoma or sunspots? Or I don't know. We just got to be smart about things sometimes and live life and try to stay healthy. And anything could happen, but I appreciate that. But I can't change Paige from using baby powder. I started using it here too because on my bike rides, if you keep it in certain areas, it keeps you from perspiring. So, but I don't have ovaries, so I guess I'm in good shape. Next question. Tom of North Cal. Hi Chuck, you mentioned your bike tires get punctured a lot. What about riding scooters and motorbikes? It's very loud outside, I'm sorry. What about riding scooters and motorbikes? Do their tires get punctured a lot too? Or just the smaller bike tires? How's your mother's scooter doing? Take care. I have had some punctures on my motorbike. The one that I bought for my mother-in-law that she never uses because she's scared of it. She just stopped riding motorbikes together. She just rides the bicycle that I got her a couple years ago. But anyway, I got these new Gator skin tires. They work really good. The last 3 times I haven't had any punctures. But there's a lot of stuff going on the roads, and I get these little tiny thin splinters of metal punctured through my tire. The motorbike's been like nails and glass and stuff like that, so, but it happens. I think when I was a kid, I don't even think I owned an air pump. I never got flats back home, but it's just been happening, but hopefully I resolved it. Gotta have good quality tires. I have never had a flat tire in my truck. Next question, Preston Bagrashoni, I think. Love the video. The longer the better. Thank you. Have a question for you, Chuck. If you can squeeze it in your Q&A. If not, no problem. I understand. In this and previously other videos, I hear you warning Paige about downed, unattended electrical wires, be they inside the monastery or the city, or holes in the public city roads. If, God forbid, somebody is electrocuted or has either died or severely burned, has broken his or her foot, is the city or the monastery liable for the damages? Thanks, and have a safe Sunday. Thailand has a saying, up to you. Be careful where you walk. You gotta look up, you gotta look down, you gotta look all around you. Thai people are very resilient, strong, athletic people. Athletic, well, I don't know about athletic, maybe limber people. They got feet like hands, you know, if you ever look at their feet. But, you know, they get hurt too. I've broken my toe a couple times. Here is a story that I heard from somebody that a lady got electrocuted in Nakhon Phanom, and the city of Nakhon Phanom paid for the cost of the funeral and gave the family 200,000 baht, which is no money. It's like a little over $6,000, you know, but you got to be careful in Thailand. You know, I think the strong survive here. I think a lot of parts of the world, that's the way it is. You got to be careful. We're just kind of used to, like, you know, security tape and warning signs and somebody out patch in the road as quick as possible because they have a lot of tax money to do that with, you know. Or, you know, Lifeline coming to save us. Well, you're kind of on your own in a lot of countries, and this is one of them. Next question. James Brashier, sorry. Are you still transferring money through Bangkok Bank? There's a commercial outside. Are you still transferring money through Bangkok Bank in New York? Yes. I was going to make a video on this, James, but it's kind of like beating a dead horse. I don't know how else to explain it. I've made a couple of videos, and all throughout the comments are like, I never said that. I don't understand what video you're watching. So I just kind of gave up on it. But, you know, everybody was telling me, oh, by April 16th, you're not going to be able to do that no more. I'm like, okay, well, if I can't, then oh, well, it doesn't really matter to me. I only transfer money 3 or 4 times a year anyway. I don't live at the ATM machine or transfer-wise where I got to send $100 at a time. It's just not worth it to me. I keep money here in Thailand because I live here permanently, but most of my money stays in the U.S. So I transfer 3 or 4 times a year large sums of money. Sometimes when the market's up, I'll send a little bit over, but real quick, here's how I do it. I have a bank account in America. It's called Bank of America. I have a lot of money in that account, so they don't really charge me too much. But how this works is I have a bank here in Thailand. I have several banks in Thailand. Bangkok Bank being the one I use for my visa stuff. So I use that bank a lot because it shows that I live here and I spend money here and I have money coming in. So there's no problem with immigration with me. So let's say I'm going to transfer $9,000. So I'm going to get on my computer. I'm going to do a domestic. I'm going to choose domestic instead of international wire transfer, because sometimes the international is about 60 US dollars, and the domestic is between $3 or $10 for overnight or next day. But coming to Thailand is never next day. It's always like 3 days anyway. So I do the request. It charges me, let's just say $5. I think it's $5. And then what I do is I put in the account number here in Thailand to my Bangkok bank here in Thailand, but I use the routing number in the Bangkok bank in the New York branch to make it look like it's a domestic charge. I don't have an account there. I've never had an account there, but they allow me to use that. Now, by me using that domestic routing number, that bank also kicks in a fee if you send over 20 to 50,000 max. They charge you $10 US. So let's just say I got charged $10 by using the routing number in the US, $5 from my bank in America, and then here the money comes in American currency, so there's a fee to transfer it out. It depends, it varies so many different times, but let's just say a number that's exaggerated, about 1,000 baht. So it cost me $30 to do a transfer. I don't like doing third-party transfers where I'm going from my bank to transfer to all these other things to funnel money into Thailand. I'd rather just use my bank and one shot. The Bangkok Bank in America sees the transaction and they take the opportunity to charge me $10 for that. And they got to make money too. But realistically, it probably cost me about under $20 to send money. So I've done it twice. I guess I don't want to actually share the transaction with you. That's information I don't think I should share, but it has worked for me. If it doesn't work for you, I'm sorry. I set this up in America. They set me up with a card. It's kind of like the same thing where they'll send you a text message and you got to get the code. Well, this card has a digital pad on it that you just access a security code on it and use it instead of doing the text messaging. Yeah, I know it's confusing, but answer your question, James. It still works perfect for me, and that's how I like to send my money. I feel secure that way. Next question. I know I'm going to get a shitload of comments. Paul Weisletter. I know probably you always comment, sorry I messed up your name, and you always leave links to other things too. I appreciate that most of the time. They want me to take them to Nakhon Phanom, so they're like sitting out here like pigeons. It's never a dull moment here. I got a couple more questions, okay? This may... I'm confused now. Easily confused. This may be a common question, but I haven't seen it answered convincingly. If I bring an expensive camera to Thailand with no intention of selling it before I depart, do I have to pay customs on it? Just to use it as a tourist. My Thai wife thinks so, but I'm not convinced. Well, you're coming over here as a tourist, so you can bring it no problem. But let's just use common sense. So most of the people coming into Thailand are Chinese. I don't know if you've ever been engulfed in a Chinese tour, but most of them have a big digital camera taking trillions of pictures on every street, you know. So they're very frugal people too. So I very seriously doubt they would bring their camera if there was a custom tax every time to bring a high dollar camera into Thailand. Anyway, you can go on customs on the internet and look at the rules on what you can bring and not bring to Thailand. But, you know, like for instance, a laptop, you're able to bring one laptop. If you bring in more, that's a little excessive. If you're bringing cameras in a box and stuff and it looks like you're trying to sell it, don't do that. If you are actually bringing a camera over here to sell, like you're bringing something for a friend from the States, take it out of the box. Don't bring the box. Or take the box and fold it flat and put it somewhere else away from the camera. Because if it looks like you're trying to sell something, if they just so happen to go into your bag, then there might be a problem. Because they want you to buy that stuff here, but they don't care about you bringing your camera. I have 6 cameras and a laptop that I carry around all over the world with me. I've never been asked, except in Laos. The guy wanted to keep one of my cameras because he said I had too many and wanted me to give him 1,000 baht so I could continue on Laos. A lot of people want to move to Laos and Cambodia because that's a different story. Go. Next question. Francis Ingalls. Question. We would like to buy a shell curtain on the market at Takupa. But some people explain we can have problems to pay a fine at customs. Different story, version, so we still don't know if it's allowed. We'll just go back to common sense, Francis. They sell those things a lot of places in Thailand. Rayong has a lot. Cha'am has a lot. If it wasn't something that was popular to sell, they wouldn't do it in Thailand. They wouldn't take the time to make it. But I think a lot of people get confused because if you're on like a national park area, beach or something where you have to pay the soldier in the box to go through, a lot of times you're not allowed to take anything off of the property and bring it out. It's against the law. Shells, rocks, sticks, sand, whatever. Maybe they're getting confused on that, but these things are like 100 baht. Stick them in your bag. If they take it, then whatever, who cares, right? But that's not a problem in Thailand, taking shells. I've actually done it before. For some crazy reason, when I traveled the world, I like to collect beach sand, and I had like tons of it. Of course, I couldn't bring it over here because it weighed so much, so I just dumped it in the yard, said, screw it, I got to figure something else out. I got to stop with these crazy hobbies, collecting crap. But I brought beach sand and shells back with me at least one time in my travels from Thailand. Don't worry about that. BC, question about the vehicle cost. You said your father-in-law's Camry was 2 million baht. Is that correct? Also, 1 million baht for your used SUV. How do Thai people afford to purchase vehicles at those prices unless they're wealthy? First off, you can look at prices for vehicles online. Luxury vehicles are a lot more expensive in Thailand. Luxury things are a lot more expensive in Thailand. When I read this, I thought about my friends in America that they have, you know, the Mercedes, the Harley in the garage, the Suburban, the $60,000 Suburban luxury edition, you know, and their 2-story house with their 2 kids and their cat and their dog. Hey, let's go out to eat. I don't have any money towards the middle of the month, you know, because they're broke as crap and their credit card's maxed out because they can't even afford to go eat at Taco Bell. They got to wait for their next paycheck. Anyway, you can finance stuff here in Thailand too. That's what most Thai people do. But Thai people have money. You know, Thailand's a third world broke ass country. You know, whatever. They just have a different way of thinking than we do. The lady that sells soup next door for the last 40 years, she's got a lot of money. But she wears like a nightgown all day and slings pork around and noodles, you know. But she's putting 4 kids through university school in Bangkok. She takes care of a lot of people. When they need something, they buy it. But that is a lot in Thailand. My father-in-law doesn't live like he makes tuk-tuks. Right now he's doing 10 or 15 a week. He's slowed down a lot in his age. But he sells them for 90,000 baht a piece. So, you know, you figure that one out. I know a lot of people in Thailand are very poor, but they choose to be that way, and that's all over the world anyway. But yeah, they just finance if they don't have the money. Next question, Raymond. You often ride solo. Do you find it to be relatively safe with drivers in Thailand? Thanks for sharing. I think riding solo is better because you don't have to worry about the driver next to you. And the problem is in Thailand, it's like synchronized swimming. So everybody kind of moves around together. If you make a last minute decision about something, it could be dangerous. But you know, in America, they drive like this. Just look at the concrete median on the road next time you're driving and look at all the tire marks on it. It looks like a crazy race track. They can't drive like this in the US. So I feel safer. At least in Thailand, there's a lot of stuff that's always on the side of the road, and people are always kind of on the lookout for any crazy stuff that may come out. Always motorbikes and bicycles and people walking on this. I feel safer, but I think a lot of bicycle accidents happen in groups, especially large groups, because people aren't watching out for everybody. It's hard for them to do synchronized bike riding, I guess. Anyway, guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please keep the questions coming. Thank you guys for helping with the replies and sharing links and sharing experiences and so on and so forth. I got a lot of negative comments coming in, and not to the point where we have different opinions or different experiences. Is just that sometimes they want to badger people for being positive, I think. So just kind of, you know, if you're a negative person and you think things outside of your house are out to get you, or it's just the way it only affects you, it doesn't affect anybody else. And yeah, I'm not going to do videos, I'm not going to do vlogs of me telling stories about other people and this could happen or that could happen, and I'm not going to share my thoughts on information like gotta have health insurance in Thailand, gotta do all these things, because they're not fact. And I don't believe in fairy tales and secondhand information. Commercial. But if something happens, I will share it with you. A lot of people love drama, and they love to make videos so they could get the clicks, and then, you know, oh, don't come to Thailand because it's going to be this and that. But it's all dramatized BS, and we all know Thailand is still the better place to live than the neighboring countries. So anyway, don't listen to all the hype. If something changes, it's usually going to be probably better for you. But yeah, if they could weed out some of the nonsense, then good for Thailand. I think it'll make Thailand a more appealing place than somebody who's an opportunist living on a tiny budget that wants to live above their means. That's just my opinion. You know, it's not fact, but that's how I see it in my travels. And when I meet certain negative people, that's kind of what I get from them. So I avoid them people, and I don't try to let my site get infected by those people, also for your sake. So anyway, you guys are awesome. Always awesome comments, always a tremendous amount of thumbs up. Yeah, keep it coming. Click like, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next adventure. It's going to be a fun one. Bye.